Assalamu alaikum. In this video, I'm going to talk about Surah Kahf, a specific story that I really like. It's the story of Zul Qarnain. I hope I said it right. And it's my personal understanding of it after I listened to some teachings. I just start reading and I tell what I think about it. So first they ask you, O Prophet, about Zul Qarnain. Say, I will relate to you something of his narrative. Like, I think this was the part where the Jews asked the Prophet about the Jews know Zul Qarnain as the traveling traveler. That's what I read on the internet. I don't know if it's true. Surely we established him in the land and gave him the means to all things. Now I know that Zul Qarnain was a king. He had his own kingdom. And that part, I was thinking about that part a lot. Like, he was a king, had a kingdom, and he still left his kingdom. He traveled because of some kind of, I think it was his purpose or some kind of goal he had. And that was ending corruption all around the world. Like, that's a really noble purpose, and that also stick with me. Now, back to the part where he left his kingdom. How this relates to me is I see a lot of people, me as well, we get at some point, we get comfortable in our little bubbles, I'd say. Like, you have your own small group, and because of that group, because you have a certain position in that group or in that community, you never think outside of that place. Like, you don't grow. Like, you're in that bubble, as the word says itself, and because you have that certain because people see you a certain way, and you already, like, imagine this: if you had a kingdom and you had all that comfort in it, like, you're a king, right? Would you still go outside of that kingdom and travel the world? Or why do that, right? Most of us would be too lazy for that, or we would have no need to do that. But Allah Ta'ala of course mentioned this king, and he was a worshipper of Allah, and having all of those stuff, these riches, resources, this kingdom didn't stop him from a higher goal. He had a purpose. Like, he still left that kingdom. And that's my understanding, what really stick to my head, and how most of us have that problem, and we can't see past that or get out of that, because it's too easy to stay and be in that position, even if you don't grow. So I read again. So he traveled, of course, at a course until he reached the setting point of the sun, which appeared to him to be setting in a spring of murky water, where he found some people who said, "O we said, O Zul Qarnain, either punish them or treat them kindly." So he had power over them. Like, obviously, he had enough resources to overpower them. I will get to it here. Actually, Allah Ta'ala mentions here three different um, situations, and Zulkarnain handles each one of them differently, and that's one of the teachings in this part of the surah. So the first one are the people of that murky water place. So he could have either punished them or treat them kindly. So he responded, "Whoever does wrong will be punished by us, then will be returned to their Lord, who will punish them with a horrible torment." So the wrongdoers of these people will be punished by the king, and then later punished by Allah Ta'ala. That's what he said. As for those who believe and do good, they will have the finest reward, and we will assign them easy commands. Now this part I would never have get this if I... Actually, the whole story I would not get if I didn't listen to some lessons. You can see in the first part, for wrongdoing people, he punished them directly, and for the good doing, they will have the finest reward. Now this part is a bit tricky for me. I don't know Arabic, but in the lesson I listened to, they said they will have the finest reward. Actually, not from the king, not from Dhul Qarnain. He's talking about from Allah Ta'ala. But we will assign them easy commands. That means he will make things easy for them. That's what I learned and what I understand as well. Like, I think he that means just not just, but in my opinion, like what I understand, that he will treat them kindly and he will make things easy for them. He won't be punishing them. Oops. So now that was the first part, the first people he met. Then he traveled a different course until he reached the rising point of the sun. He found it rising on a people for whom we had provided no shelter from it. So he met people that can't even shelter themselves from the sun. That means, I'm not sure if that is right to say, but it's almost like they live outside. They don't know how to make houses. Like they live like animals. And so it was, and we truly had full knowledge of him. Then he traveled a third course. You see, he just skipped that part. He actually did nothing, like, because what's he, that was too much to him. What's he gonna do to people that can't even shelter themselves from the sun, right? Like, they are so primitive, he can't start teaching them there. It would be too much for him. So that part is actually in the Quran, and Allah Ta'ala put that here as well. So the third course is he traveled at the third course, and until he reached the pass between two mountains, he found in front of them a people who could hardly understand his language. Hardly understand his language. They pleaded, O Zul Qarnain, surely Gog and Magog are spreading corruption throughout the land. Should we pay you tribute, provided that you build a wall between us and them? That part is also interesting. They had the idea to build a wall between us and them, the people he met. So Gog and Magog, we don't know actually what they are. They could be probably just humans that are really corrupt. I don't think that they are different species. So he responded, what my Lord has provided for me is far better, but assist me with resources and I will build a barrier between you and them. So this is the third situation he was in. And here he is actually, Gog and Magog is too much for him as well. Even if he has even if he is a king and has a lot of resources, the most he can do is build a barrier, a wall between them, between these people. So he started commanding these people that asked him for help. Bring me blocks of iron. Then we had that. Then, when he had filled up the gap between the two mountains, he ordered blow. When the iron became red hot, he said, "Bring me molten copper to pour over it." He mixed two kinds of metal to make something really robust. I looked it up actually in Google. If you mix iron and copper, and it kind of makes it more resistant to corrosion and stuff like that. You can Google it as well, and that's also interesting. And so the enemies could neither scale nor tunnel through it. So Gog and Magog just are behind the wall till this day. Like, he declared, "This is a mercy from my Lord." So he built the wall, then gave credit to Allah Ta'ala, of course. But when the promise of my Lord comes to pass, he will level it to the ground, and my Lord's promise is ever true. So basically he's saying, look how humble this king is. First he declared that this is I was able to do it only because of Allah Ta'ala. What I understand here, I did it. I built the wall the best I can, and when the time comes, the wall won't be holding forever, of course. Everything has an end except Allah Ta'ala. And that's the part where he says he will level it to the ground, and my Lord's promise is ever true. So he's saying, I built it as best as I could, and if my Lord, if the time comes, this wall will break down, and that time only Allah knows when. On that day we will let them surge like waves over one another. Later the trumpet will be blown, and we will gather all people together. Yeah, they are still stuck behind that wall. And near the end times, they will get out again. Who knows when that will be? Only Allah. Now the surah goes on to the next part, but this is one of the most interesting stories of the Quran for me. I don't know why, but it really resonates with me because I know exactly what it means to be in such a bubble, and it's the way it teaches with 3 different scenarios. It's I think it's remarkable. We are all in some kind of situations sometimes, and these are some of the answers for me. Like, you do what you can and leave the rest to Allah Ta'ala. That's what the king actually did. But he didn't let that kingdom let him become lazy. He still had a purpose and got out of it. And that purpose is a really noble one. He actually ending corruption in the land. So what I learned from this is this means it's not enough if don't become too comfortable with the stuff you have, and try to work for something bigger, not just always try to grow, use your resources like this king did to get more resources, and build yourself, like don't stop growing. Thank you for watching. Bye.